Losing out 16-14 to Virtus Pro, just a game away. Now the question is, can they actually clean this one up? Some would say that they may have choked away the last map a little bit, but they were very weak on their terrorist side. And that's something that could come back to plague them in Inferno as well. Forze, though, on the other hand, not a team that we've seen today, and well, it's always nice to see new blood. Forze starting things off over towards the B side. They go. Furlan's been dinked down to 14. And well, there's not a kit to be seen on the Go side. So if they lose the bomb site early on, this will be a problem. Caper finds a quick shot, but it's only one. Which means that Go now in a 2 versus 4 without a bomb defusal kit in their inventory to deal with. This is going to be a tough one. PHR moves through. Clean shot to start things off. Needs at least 2 more as he's going over. Pushing up from Banana. Gets 1, but not the second. That means that Grubby now has to do a bit more heavy lifting. He's waiting for a push to come through from Forze. He's even considering going for a save at this point. He knows there's not too much time left to work with. Grubby hoping at the very least get more damage out. Force them to rebuy some of that Kevlar. Force them to spend that extra $1,000. It's so frustrating to actually have to spend that. It's like, well, I've got Kevlar. I mean, just let me buy a helmet. Go though, they're not holding back any stops. They've got the full Deagles out. And Forza, well, they went for 4 Mac 10s, and this could come back to bite them. I mean, at this point, sure, you've got the first kill, but that's only Sparrow with the scout. They've still got a lot of armored players to deal with. Grubby misses the shots that he had to land. PHR, though, with the MP9 finds 2, and that's so much money to deal with as well. On the other side, Grubby still can't connect with those shots. He started off so strong on Train, but wasn't able to keep that farm running over towards the end of that map, and has definitely not continued it forward. In this one, Furlan makes it a 1v2. Doable, but not ideal. Still, a lot of damage having been dealt. If this grenade, he could have bounced it off the top of the... Oh dear, he could have bounced it off the top of the sign and brought it down onto Almaza. But it just doesn't happen. Running away with the Mac 10, keeping what spoils he can. PHR, remember, he did get 2 kills with the MP9. So although they force bot up, he's going to have a lot of money moving in towards that 4th round bomb. Even now, Furlan, a kit, a smoke, a deagle, armor, Mac 10. This is still going to be not the easiest round in the world for Forze moving into the next one. He can drop the deagle over to a friend. PHR maybe could be the one picking that one up, getting some Kevlar for himself. If they're able to actually get one of those AK-47s, I think if they can get 2 AK-47s or 1 AK and a Mac 10 even, you have a very good chance of winning away this round. The problem is that this Mac 10 really needs to come into play. Furlan needs to find a kill, and this is going to be so difficult versus fully armored units who have got the positional advantage if you're going to be pushing into them. At the same time, Caper's got a deagle, so could be seeing some great stuff coming out from him. They've obviously got a lot of faith in his ability to take down a few heads, but so far, that faith has been misplaced. Caper waiting for a second push to come through, a second chance to come his way, and it seems like he's going to be given one. Not to the head, but he gets the job done anyway. PHR and Furlan coming from the side. PHR long range with the USP has a bit of a punch, but not as much as Jerry's straight headshot with the Gleal. Three to nothing, and a Go now pull out the AWP for Sparrow. Caper, what are you trying to do over here, Caper? Good smoke thrown forward means that he has to actually back off, and that's an interesting smoke to throw from Forze. It makes it a lot more difficult to really jiggle around and try and re-peek with an AWP or try and re-peek with a couple of flashes. It also makes it more difficult to give backup. Now, backup's something that Grubby really needed as he did get taken down. PHR is next to fall, so PHR did find one, but Grubby really dropping the ball over there. You want to see more from him after the performance he had in the previous map, early on at the very least. But now with 3 guns left, they have to save. Forze will be preventing any sort of a retake. They don't have a kit. At this point, all you can really hope for is that Forze are silly enough to push into them, as they will be. Flit takes a fall, and 3 guns will be saved into the next round. Now remember, they won't have a buy regardless of this. No, actually, Sparrow's got 250. He can drop a Famas for Grubby. PHR then go for an MP9. He played with the MP9 earlier on underneath the balcony as well, so you've still got something to work with. Caper and Ferland both have money too, so okay, never mind. I scratched that thought. I thought that they would have a much more crippled buy if they wanted to go for 5 rifles, but it seems like they're perfectly healthy. This is where I'd really like to see a little bit of aggression coming out towards the apartment side from a goal. Forze, though, on the other hand, they're doing fantastically well. They're really just keeping control of any sort of utility that's being thrown forward by them. They do take a very heavy grenade to XC power, though, and that could be problematic later on. If a secondary one comes through, it's a very common nade spot. Jerry right now trying to let him boost up. XC power doesn't see anything. Drops down. Ferland's on the other side. Doesn't have a Molotov, and neither does Caper. Remember that. Smoke does move forward, but they're more than willing to smash through the smoke if they want to. Forze, with the grenades being chucked through. Good pop flash from Ferland will be used to push right out of the smoke. He doesn't realize that there's a boost behind one of those. Otherwise, he could have potentially tried to take down Face Crack and Almazer. And well, that spray will be doing it. Almazer is down. Face Crack left with 5 HP. My phone got scared by my voice, apparently, and it turned on. I thought I said, "Okay, Google." I don't know what I said that sounded like "Okay, Google," but you know what? Why not? Ferland and Caper, both of them in new box. This might not be expected, actually. Caper's been brought down. Ferland could be the... Oh, dear. He's a snake in the grass, and he's been caught out. But only after he's found himself a kill. Flit left in a 1 versus 3. All odds against him. Time is ticking away. Flit needs to go through. PHR to try and save the day, but he can't get the job done. 7 seconds on the clock. Grubby will demolish any chances he had left. You've got a complete full buy on either side. A go, though, they've got their backs against the wall. They need to start winning a few rounds over here. Forze, actually, this is both these teams being economically disadvantaged. XC Power starting off strongly. Caper, though, very quick to respond on the other side of the map, which means that the A side is slightly more susceptible to being taken over. You're seeing the rotate coming out from Caper, but it's slow. Blake will be moving through. It should be taking control off, but a quick smoke will prevent them from taking out HR too easily. Grubby, though, from the side gets 2, and finally he's coming alive. But waiting long enough for that one. XC Power. He found the first kill. Now he has to find at least a few more to do some economic damage to make a go slightly more susceptible. However, with 4 players kept alive, Forze probably better off going for a full eco over here. At most, maybe Flit throws over a few P250s to his teammates. You get a flashbang or 2, try and overwhelm that AWP of Sparrow. But beyond that, things aren't looking too hot for you. Ooh, that incendiary almost could have gone into Mexico for XC Power to be sniffed out. Utility is pretty on point from from a goal right now. Good damage and fantastic flash time so far. Berlin able to keep it going as he finds another kill. Caper wants to maybe just chuck out another smoke, make sure that Forze can't feel too comfortable pushing through. If they've got a few flashes, the Go always has to be wary of those flash pushes. Now, they don't know that Forze is pretty much naked, other than their pistols that they did, of course, upgrade. Sparrow. The push to come through. There's only one. If there was strength in numbers, then maybe they could have overwhelmed that AWP with the pistols, but unfortunately that simply isn't the case. Sparrow, how in the world do you miss that shot as Jerry Ferrari'd his way out? A wide peak to help him take down that AWP, and that gives Flit enough time to find a second kill too. A Go is leaking out money quickly, and now that they've realized that, they're suddenly saying, you know what, maybe let's calm down, back off, sit down in our bomb sites. We're 3 versus 1. There's no need to go anywhere. There's 30 seconds on the clock. And Furlan, he's holding an off angle, but that in itself is risky. Flit doesn't have time to check all the angles. If he wanted to play from Emo or from New Box, then this would be much more secure. But now he's relying on a bit of a crossfire that has been set up. Flit moving through, sees Furlan, but not before Furlan can get that bullet off. Flit with a bullet to the head will be put out of his misery. Forze, with significantly less utility than they would like, will be heading over towards Banana initially. Caper's got a neat little pop flash to start things off, but that won't be catching them out too effectively. Forze has been taking so much damage, and they'll continue to be brought down. 3 players, not what you normally see towards Banana, so a Go there. Keeping Caper on the rotate position, and well, now that he's rotated back, Grubby has to be careful. 1:15 on the clock. Forze, if they just play slightly more slowly, they'd notice that a Go is spending most of their utility early into the round. But without that recognition, you're not going to be seeing any sort of exploit coming through. Sparrow holding the close angle, pulls out the flashbang at the worst possible time. He misses the... Oh dear, that could have been massive. He just shot down towards the broken wall. It would have been a wall bang onto 2 players. Face crack, though, on the other side of the map is opening up the A site. With 40 seconds left on the clock, Forze are considering moving over towards A, and that's exactly what will be happening. XC Power pushes through, sees one, that's Caper, and he's been sidelined immediately. All alone beneath that balcony. Grubby waiting for them to move through. 25 seconds. He just needs to take down the bomb carrier, but that bomb carrier, off it goes over towards the B side. Grubby now pushing through, doesn't realize there's a player above him. He's pulled out the knife, and Face Crack will be catching him out. Furlan may have found one, but there's only 10 seconds left on the clock. How is this happening? The bomb will be getting planted just barely 4 seconds, and Almaza gets it done. 2 seconds left on the clock. It's practically a Pronax round. Really reminds you of the old school Fnatic round, that one very famous one where Pronax made a call to switch sites 3 times. Just knowing the timings down to a dot, but Furlan right there from the B side is still going to make things difficult for them to finish off. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. XC Power saying, you know what, this is pretty easy actually. I don't know what you guys were all struggling about. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to kick back in my lawn chair and, you know, kill a few more of these Go esports fools. Unfortunately, we are seeing something that has been a staple of the previous map, as there is another pause. Now, one can always hope that it is tactical, but I have a feeling that it might be technical, with Caper not buying up right now. $4,900 on him. Well, actually, there goes the M4. We've got hope, and hopefully we won't have an extended pause on our hands. And so far, it's been a very back and forth game with a goal. Although they've been getting in a couple of rounds here and there, it's been largely off the back of Forze's mistakes. Now, Forza, they've been looking good so far. They've had some interesting ways of taking control over Banana. Now, whether they can continue that moving forward is yet to be seen because they're going to need some more flexibility. A Go can definitely adjust on the fly. A Go can definitely start to make some mid-game calls where they read Forze's takes slightly more effectively. But still, with a 5-round start to your T side, that is a good omen for Forza. And here we go. Split with a flashbang over. This could catch out a goal. Great grenades, actually. Furlan and Caper. But Furlan's responded already. They found the stack and they've found 2 off the back of that Forze. Now they've got to turn tail and run towards that A site. And Flit won't even be given the chance. He's gunned down through the smoke. Face Crack and XC Power are the only ones left. And they're just kind of running around like headless chickens at this point. They're looking for information, seeing what they can get, and what they can get is absolutely nothing. A Go gets that massive advantage and immediately they snap their fingers, they call their players back, and well, that's why they were calling them, because the second they get aggressive, Face Crack is there with the punish. And from the other side, Grubby, always the patient one, always the one waiting inside pit for someone to come his way, will be able to capitalize off of that defensive play. Serve as an example to Sparrow. XCPower's wondering where did his teammates all go down, and well, he sees the site of the massacre and he's gonna be given a little bit of time to pray for them at the very least. Ago seemed to be expressing no desire to pursue this AWP. So although Forze will have it in the next round, they won't have very much around it. You've got Jerry and Almaza on about 1,500 apiece, but they've been reset and Flit and Face Crack will be left with pretty much nothing. So your next round objective even should be just to save this AWP, and at the very best case scenario, you can maybe try and get a couple of kills and keep a Go humble using that op. Flit's got himself a Mac 10, so they're going for the full buy. They do want to try and make the best of the AWP. A lot of pressure will be on XC Power, though. He's playing defensively early on, doesn't want to be overwhelmed the same way. Caper and Furlan trying to do the same thing as they are spraying through the smoke, but will be somewhat unsuccessful. Caper's been forced out of position, but Furlan and himself are more than happy to continue plowing forward. BHR and Grubby now, they're the ones who are setting up a nice little crossfire from underneath balcony and from look at this. BHR and Grubby, they should be able to clean up all the houses over here. Grubby just needs to peek out. Grubby's found 1, BHR's found 2, and now it's all onto XC Power. If they can manage to get a couple more, then well, you've got Forze completely out of money, because remember, now you start to hunt. Now you start to try and make sure XC Power can't get the job done. And look at this. XC Power, he's heard the footsteps. Furlan has been taken down. He needs to be careful that he doesn't just die to a fall, to be honest. I've done that a couple of times. I'm not sure if you can do that from that particular balcony, but you know what? Knowing me, I would have found a way somehow or the other. He's got a smoke, and he's got 30 seconds to while away. Unfortunately, the next round will see him having very few teammates who are properly equipped to try and aid him. Time and time again, Forze are being pushed back. A Go have had them locked down on 5 rounds for quite a while now. And as a consequence of that, you're going to be seeing them have quite a bit of money moving into the next half. Or rather, moving into the next round, rather. Imagine how overpowered that would be if you could carry money over into the next half. Would be absolutely ridiculous. Also, just the literal sense of it that, hey, you know, we're changing sides from counter-terrorist to terrorist. Don't mind us. We're actually going to take all the money we made from your side and take it over to the other side. Is that fine? Yeah, of course that's fine. It's organizational funds, you know. They're mine now. Who cares? I'm switching sides anyway. See, I'm going to kill you. Probably not the best of headaches for HR to figure out. Corporate espionage is a nightmare. Military espionage, oh, don't even get me started on that one. BHR wants to get started over here, though. He's playing from the back of the A side. Very defensive angle, but after all that's been going wrong for Forze, he's really relying on that streak to continue. He's really just relying that Forze keeps on walking into their hands and keeps on gifting them something or the other. Plus, they remember that XC Power has saved that AWP, so you're getting aggressive. That's you giving them a chance to get another gun for themselves. Fantastic grenades coming through from Grubby, though. XC knows where Grubby is, and Grubby's been punished, and that's what I'm talking about. The second you reveal yourself, XC will be there to try and pounce. Flit now moving through. BHR has found one. Flit will continue forward. XC needs to be able to take down BHR. Peeks through. Great shot straight to the head, and now to 2 versus 3. Facecrack has recovered an M4. XC misses that shot. Facecrack now in a 1v2. Still has a chance. Long range duels can end up working out well for you. Now moving through. Nice little smoke has been dropped. And Facecrack isn't done yet, wants to get the bomb plant down at the very least, get some more money for his team, even moving to the back of the site, but Furlan will be able to push forward. Furlan will be able to prevent that extra dollar bling bling. The cash register not really sounding too jingly for Forze. And that's a big kill to get over there. If you manage to prevent the bomb plant over there, now you don't have an AWP to deal with. Now you don't have a full set of rifles to deal with. Now you've suddenly got Forze on their last limbs. Surprisingly enough, Facecrack going for a MAC-10 despite having an extra 2650 in the bank. Not even ability, but well, you know what? Maybe it just works for him. He moves forward, switches out, upgrades to an M4, then he dies. Not quite the epic saga that I was hoping for, but you know what? XC's got a chance for himself. He's got 1, he's got 2, and he's sprayed down both of them. Now in a 1v1, AWP versus AWP, but one of them is disadvantaged. HP is lower, the gun is not his comfort weapon, and the angles are not for him to play. Sparrow comes out on top. Despite a strong start, Forze have ended up giving up more than their fair share of ground. Go have taken leaps and bounds of moving forward, and this should be the point where I would imagine this is a tactical pause coming through, and well, they definitely need. The resume comes in, and I think I messed up my push to dock. Oh, never mind, it's fine. The resume comes in, and XC Power has found his hands on an AWP. Not been the greatest with that so far, I'm not gonna lie. Putting in a lot of resources onto him. Maybe you need to change up your style a little bit to adjust for the fact that he's not really having the best of games. Instead, I'd honestly like to see some more of the aggressive entry style play from Facecrack. He did very well over with the A side in each round, but can you do something similar and then slow it down again is the question. Jerry, though, right now wants to move through. Sparrow's been tagged pretty heavily, and Jerry will take advantage of that. A grenade to his feet from beyond the grave, but it's not going to bother him too much. After all, who cares about a dead man's tales? Jerry's been left to watch the flank over towards Banana, but Ferlin doesn't want to push through that smoke. They're still unsure about how they want to play this. A smoke being deployed, 55 seconds on the clock, and now there is a congregation being called towards that B site. The T's, well, they're kind of relying on Flit to stop a rotate from coming through. Now Flit, though, with how defensive he's playing, seems to be a little bit unlikely. Here we go. Good incendiary. What timing from Ferlin. That could be the deal breaker. Great flashbang to follow up as well. Ferlin keeps on going. Instead, though, he decides against it. Caper, it's all on you, my friend. From New Box, you go. M4 at the ready, wanting to spray them all down. And well, you've got a chance, but that will not be fulfilled. Ferlin on the other side did find one as well, so you've still got a chance to keep things under control. However, the only control that PHR and Grubby want to have is over their economy, as they are saving these M4s moving into the next round, and understandably so. They've won a few of those last rounds on a wire. They don't really have that much money to work with, and they know that if they lose these guns, then well, this is the end of the half, and that's the worst possible time to be economically dismantled. Forze find themselves back into the game. And all that took was an early take. Even though it seemed like Csgo was in a very good position, Ferlin actually, if he'd started to push out off the back of that one pop flash, maybe this would have been a different story, because right there, he threw out that incendiary. He had a chance to actually stop a further push from coming through. With 25 seconds left on the clock, all you really need to do is delay the push just enough for your teammates to provide some much needed backup. Base crack, what are you doing? You're dismantling PHR. I'm saying that a lot, but I really don't want to say he's cracking the face of PHR. That's just a very graphic and violent image. Ugh. Just imagine the sound that would make. It's just if you're cracking someone's skull. Oof, oof. Sends shivers down your spine. Not down your face, because apparently that's already cracked. A minute and 5 seconds left on the clock. Forze, they've got a lot of utility, so at the very least they've got that working out for them. Ferlin doesn't quite have the same amount of firepower, but he does have that utility. Smoke's been deployed, but it's too little too late, and they've already all crossed past. 7-6. Forze might be able to get themselves to the 7th round very soon, because Ferlin, he keeps on trying to spray a few more down, but he's been locked out of the site. A second smoke being deployed will guarantee that as well. Now they're backing off. Csgo have made the call yet again to try and save for that last round. They realize that they don't have much of a choice over here, because at this stage, you're really just playing for the long haul. Can't afford to risk it all on some individual play. And of course, the problem is that with the lack of M4s, they can't go for what they were trying earlier on, which was 3 players to very quickly head over towards Banana, with Caper serving as a quick rotator. So the second you've seen that they're not going for a B rush, and the second you've managed to confirm Banana control, you see Caper rotating back towards the A side to assist the rest of his team. Without the M4s and without that long-range spray capability, you're not going to be seeing that more likely than not, unless Grubby decides to rotate away from his pit position and try and play over towards that B site. Now that in itself is a very, very questionable proposition, but it seems like, well, for now it'll only be Ferlin who makes his way over. Almaza has been taken down to 20, but not quite taken down completely, and that means that they've still got a huge advantage, as they've got a 5 versus 3. Sparrow feels the need to start to get aggressive. The incendiary will prevent any sort of such action from happening. Grubby's alone on the site, not playing from pit, and now comes in the pincer towards B. If Grubby wants to move down to Banana from mid, then he will be met by Almaza with his 20 points of HP. PHR's looking to get aggressive, knows he needs to make a move before they do. Forze knows moves. They've got the grenades, but now PHR's got the advantage. Finds a man with a grenade in his hand, wants to peek out again, has a chance, dinks him off as well, but can't finish it, as it will be Sparrow and Grubby to try their best to try and save a go in this half. But Sparrow's got enemies on all sides, and Grubby can't provide the backup he so desperately needs, and Grubby is now left alone as Sparrow goes down. Face crack on the CT spawn will be just enough to intercept as well, and Forze do make their way to an 8th round. And here we go. Where Forze was able to start off strong, it seemed like Go had really got a grip on the game. Now, though, we've seen them come back, and CT's side awaits them. It's a favored side, but can they make work of it? Sparrow and Grubby both with a set of utility apiece. They're looking for a quick take off that A side, it seems like. Sparrow's playing more of that long-range lurker, though, over towards middle, where he's got the P250 to work with. Could be the late round difference maker. Caper still trying to move through. But for now, Flit knows that there might be a line of terrorists, and indeed there is. Smokes are ready. Not deployed yet. They're thinking of it. They've got the flashes, they've got the smokes, they're moving through. It's a nice little crossfire of smoke to go in, but Flit is ready. Flit has got one. Face Crack has got even more coming out from the side, but it's going to be a very slow rotate as Almaza and Jerry are the last two left. BHR and Grubby chiming in when they're needed the most. Jerry inching through. He's got a chance as Sparrow reveals himself to him. Means it's down to 2v2. Both players playing from pit. PHR's got information. They know where the second player is as well. But Jerry doesn't care if they know where he is, because Jerry has his crosshair aligned to their heads, and all he needed to do was pull the trigger, and that trigger was pulled all right. PHR, though, dancing away, and he knows how to do the tango. 8-8. Forze aren't able to finish off that pistol round. A go very close, but they make it work. Jerry's got himself an MP9. I'm honestly really surprised whenever I see an MP9 being used passively. I mean, unless he tries to flash out and go aggressively, I think it's a bit of a waste. You really, in my opinion, you'd really rather just have a UMP if you want to go for a passive style of play with an SMG. An MP9's more of a let's pop flash in, try and get aggressive, get a few kills, get a few guns kind of gun for me. Not really something that you traditionally use in a defensive manner. I mean, if you want defensive, that's what Caper's gone for. He's got himself the MP5. That's fantastic as a defensive gun, honestly. With the pinpoint precision it has. But Jerry now moving in through the slot he goes. And this is the aggression that I wanted to see. Unfortunately, it's not quite the result that I wanted to see. Only gets one kill. And Flit has been left with a CZ to try and find more. Now, he does have Kevlar, so might just want to save into the next round at this stage. A bit disappointed that Forze went for this force spy over here. But you know what? If they thought it could work, then who's to blame them? The answer to that question, by the way, is me. I am to blame them. Now, that said, you have to keep in mind this. They're able to keep these 3 into the next round, which it seems like, for all intents and purposes, they should be able to. You still have a pretty decent chance of doing some more economic damage, making sure that it goes in a rough spot when you initially get your first round win, which presumably you're hoping will be the next round. So, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. Xe needs a shot though. At this stage, you're really just hoping for some good scout tags to finish off with a grenade or a deagle. Good grenade on the Sparrow though, brings him down to 17. He'll be playing much more conservatively. The problem, of course, is that the rest of the team is still very healthy. As I say, that grubby tag down. He's shot in the chest by that scout. 3 players over towards B. This could be a recipe for disaster if a Go wants to keep on pushing, but PHR finding that entry into mid means that with XC on the sidelines, they know that Scout is nowhere to bother them. So Face Crack has to step up with the Deagle, finds one, looking for more, but can't get the job finished off. Jerry, what can you do? What can you do? Picks up a Scout, switches out for an AK-47. He can save this gun into the next round. That's still pretty good. But right now, they're feeling hungry for blood. And at the very least, they want to make sure that a Go isn't able to save these guns moving forward. They want to make sure that a Go goes down with a bomb. But Almaza, P250 at the ready. He's waiting for a push to come in his way. There's a smoke that's dissipating soon enough, and he chooses to make the cross. That might be something he regrets because Grubby's on the other side, and Grubby has got that kill every day of the week. Jerry, AK at the ready. At least they're saving the AK and the CZ, you know? Oh! Oh! Oh. Okay. I just assumed that, you know, if they're standing there, then you probably get to live with a couple of HP, but I guess not. I mean, I thought that they wouldn't, but I thought, oh, no. I can't, I'm not going to call them out for that. Of course, they'd not be silly enough to do something like that and leave themselves with very lackluster utility. Of course not. I guess you don't need utility when you've got XC to open things up like that. Sparrow also down to 13. Ten to 8. Four players are walking up banana right now. You've got a single grenade, but it's not at the right position. If this grenade was over here, that would be massive. Now, smokes have been deployed. Almaza's right here. He needs to drop down towards oranges and find a few kills, but he can't connect with the bullets. Ferlin somehow gets 2 entries when he's turned around facing the other way for both the kills initially. That should never happen. Face crack. Now, turn, shine. Bringing down all these players very low. This M4 has got to be the one that starts mopping things up. Moves through. There's a player towards New Box and one towards Banana. New Box is dead to rights, and now all that you've got left to deal with is Banana. Not too much time to work with, so it's all down to XC Power and whether he can get this job done. Needs to pick up the kit. Does he have the time to defuse the bomb? It doesn't seem like it. He's backing off to safety, but safety will not be had. XC Power will go down with the bomb. A Go by the skin of their teeth wins another round. And that's where Forze calls another pause, and they definitely need to kind of sit down, figure out where they're headed with this, because they're going for another quasi-buy. They haven't won a single round on their second half so far. It's only been a few, but that's generally enough to give you an idea of where things are going. Down to about 2,000 apiece on Forze. Nice shot from Almaza. Backs off through the fire. But great way to start things off. At the very least, Csgo can't be relying on the trading game to they can't, at least they can't be relying on the trading game to take this round away, but they seem to seldom do. They're really just playing post plant effectively, or they're finding the early pickoffs. Led from below balcony has got the deagle. Nice shot from Esea, actually, finishing off Caper, bringing things back to a 5 versus 3. Forze, this is the exact big break that they were looking for. Facecrack could just push through the smoke, and it seems like that's exactly what he's looking to do. Facecrack, go for it. I believe in you right now, because you've got so many players on the other side who've been naded down heavily, and Facecrack has found one, Facecrack has found two, and well, the second will be finished off by Esea, but still 9-11. Forze finally finding that one round, and on the back of an eco, well, a quasi-buy, no less. So you've got lots of money to work with, and that lots of money is immediately materialized in the form of a double op setup. Now, Almaza, he isn't the most... he's not really the most prominent oppo that you'd think of with CIS region, but he can get some good work done, especially when Facecrack starts things off for him so nicely with 2 quick kills with an early aggressive push. The CT's really having aggression paying off for them a few rounds in a row, and Flit, well, that aggression will not stop. A Sparrow will be walking into Esea's crosshair, and 10-11 Forze, 1 away from equalizing. A go without the money either, and that means that suddenly they're looking at a very sad Polish side. Double up. Not really been shown off yet, so Almaza will still be having a bit of an element of surprise at the very least. A go with their pistols are really just getting down on their knees at an altar and praying for some 1-digs. Unfortunately, Sparrow is the only one who can be the medium of those 1-digs, but let's see what they can come up with. They're walking through, they're making their entry point forward. Jerry's found one, Almaza's found another, Jerry makes it 3, and well, they've cleaned up the entirety of the team to bring things down to an 11-11. What a stark difference from game number 1, where we saw 1-11, and now game number 3, where things are looking much more even. Well, game 2 wasn't too bad either, a go versus Virtus Pro, but it seems like a go has been giving up leads left, right, and center. Of course, to those of you who are just tuning in, you missed some fantastic matches that have happened so far. We saw Expert taking the first game on Cash, which was a spectacular display of dominance from them over LDLC. Second map came through much more close on Train with Virtus Pro versus a Go Esports. And now we are, of course, on the last map of the day, Forze versus a Go. Over here on Inferno. 11-11, it's tied, it's paused. Things could not be more tense. Now, although the buy has come through from a go, it's not something they're overly happy with. Sparrow doesn't have an AWP for himself, and Forze has still got more than enough money to rebuy the double op setup if they even lose it. So the ball is definitely in Forze's court right now. What they choose to do with it, well, we'll have to wait to find out about that one. Face crack with a nice little grenade over. Nice start for XE Power to the round as he does find the first pick. Almaza thinking of getting slightly aggressive as well, as he has been boosted up over the broken wall. XE Power will continue to try and maintain mid and boiler control on his own, while Face Crack, postured more towards the apartment side, will be heading over. Now, the question of course comes in. Ooh, that's an end. Ooh, nicely boost onto the second flower pots. Immediately then you see XE moving back to molly off apartments, realizes that more likely than not there will be some presence towards that area. Now, what can Face Crack do from this position is the question, as he sees them coming over his way, but he's been spotted out and taken down. Sparrow makes sure he only gets one, but so much information means that XE can actually move through for another in his favor. Now remember, there's still one person on the side, that's Flit. Flit has been finished off by Grubby, but Jerry has been given just enough time to make his way over to the side and trade it away. So far, we've seen XE having a fantastic performance, sitting on 20 kills, but Jerry, I mean, he's been slowly but surely climbing up the scoreboard at 15 right now, and he's definitely been one of the big catalysts for success for the Forze team. Nice try with the grenade over towards the A side. The CT's getting some good aggressive grenades out. I like to see that, but it's always unfortunate to see it without any particular read or without any particular rhyme or reason to expect a go to be going for that. Of course, there is always the possibility of an amazing read that I just don't know about, but hey. Right now, a go is going to be pretty much walking into the meat grinder. Furlan playing from inside the apartments. Flash up, brought down, Face Crack pushing through, just making sure they've got information for days. XE repositions more defensively, finds one, looking for more, doesn't quite find it yet, but the P250 will be pulled out and PHR will be pulled down. Double offs, both of them ready and waiting to just get a little bit more out of the map than perhaps they were expecting. XE almost got the shot onto Furlan, but Furlan was waiting. XE didn't expect a man on the bridge, let alone someone with an SG. Almaza, though, very quick to even up the score, but that's only momentary as Face Crack gets overly aggressive and does get fragged down because of it. Flit now moving through the smoke. Knows Grubby's on the other side, picks up that frag, moves back immediately. Jerry's also here to provide some more backup. The smoke will not be blocked, but the smoke will not be stopping Jerry from moving into the back of the site. Now Jerry's ready. Will they be ready for him is the question we have to find out the answer to. They're moving through, they're checking his angle, and PHR does take him down. Almaza on the other side with the Eagle trying to do what he can, but what he can't do is connect those shots, as it will be a 12th round for a go. Almaza. Ooh, good grenade. Almost cashing out a lot of a go, but a go decide against that aggression. Face Crack is pretty much just repeatedly going for the exact same grenade. Surprisingly enough, this time it catches out Grubby, even though they have seen that before. You'd think that they'd be a little bit more prepared for it. Still, good shot from Almaza. Sparrow's been brought down. That's the Opper out of contention. The A side seems to be the repeated destination for a go to, but they haven't really gotten the most success out of it, which is why I'm slightly surprised to see that being the case. Face crack now playing from pit. He's got more than a chance to unravel any sort of aggression coming his way. Remember, Fit won't really be caught out either, so Fit actually has a chance to step all the way over, smokes himself off, and he will take down Grubby immediately after. Looking for more, gets a dink onto Furlan. What an absolutely fantastic performance. What a great hold as XC will be taken down. So Flit, he's only got 4 HP to work with. Jerry as well. Moving through, there is a player on the other side. A grenade will be avoided. Jerry sees him, but Jerry's brought down as Caper jumps up onto the broken wall, and now Forze down in a 2 versus 3. Need to make the call to save. Fit doesn't have HP. Almaz has got an AWP. Both of these players want to save into the next round. Their 3 teammates aren't the healthiest when it comes to money. Another equalization. This game could not be closer. Ooh, that's a problem actually. Furlan goes down over there. So a go. Remember, they lost 4 of their players, of which 2 of those were somewhat unnecessary. You didn't need to end up going down to the bomb or to Almazer at the end of that all. Now, with the amount of money that they're being forced to spend, this is the big round. Either one of these teams that wins this goes to match point effectively. A Go don't have enough money to rebuy despite the 2-round winning streak that they do of course have for themselves. Now, on the other side, Forze, same can be going for them. They've been forced to rebuy one of their ops, and now they've been forced to rebuy on 3 of their players. You've got yourself way too much money that has been lost in that previous round, and now if you lose this round, you've got 2 players who can buy up somewhat, sure, but a Go's probably going to end up going to 15. So this is the big round that you want to keep an eye out for. Both teams starting off very passively, so you're not seeing the aggression into apartments from Face Crack, you're not seeing the early progression forwards from a Go. They're both just biding their time and slowing things down. That though works out much better for a Go than it does for Forze, because now Forze used up most of the utility. Almazer almost landing a good shot, but Caper's legs are the ones that intercepted, meaning that he doesn't go down, and Furlan has got a chance to trade away. Almazer takes a fall. Now Jerry pushing out through the smoke has got 2 and keeps himself alive somehow or the other. But as I say that, I've jinxed him, and Grubby's brought him down. 3 versus 3. Flid coming in from the side. He's got the M4 at the ready, but his teammates are still too far away. XC taking a long time to rotate. They don't have utility except for 1 incendiary on XC. Of course, they've got a few flashbangs, but how useful those will be in a retake is yet to be seen. Good crossfire setup by a Go. Grubby's got himself an AK-47 that is very good at this range as Flit moves through from behind the coffins. Grubby peeks out again, trying to find the second player towards CT, but you have to keep an eye out for PHR, who's going to push through the smoke but won't even be needed. Sparrow, at the end of it all, will just end up finishing things himself. PHR picks up an AWP. Sparrow can switch that out for that one. And a pulse comes through from Forze to figure out how exactly do they move forward. They've got money on Almazer, they've got money on XC, and they've got money on Flit. Face Crack and Jerry are much worse off. Alright, so it seems like Almazer will end up going for the AWP drop towards XC. He's going to forfeit any chance of having armor though. That's very problematic, to be perfectly honest. You've got you've basically got all your eggs in the XE basket. You've got enough money to kind of buy into the next round as well, so you will be able to buy up another AWP in the next round. But remember, too many eggs in one basket might not be working out. So far though, these eggs are cooking nicely. And well, XE's ready to serve some lunch up. Question is, will Ago keep on feeding him? They've got a 4-man stack on the B site, on the A site as well. So XE to solo on B with the AWP. It's a strategy as old as time. You get a stack going on the A side. You send your AWP aggressively out towards B to try and prevent them from feeling that they've got a chance. But it's a big gamble, and it relied on XE getting that first shot. That gamble so far has paid off, as it seems like Ago will be making their way over. Jerry will want to push through. CZ at the ready, pushes in. Oh no, he could have found that kill easily with a man who had a grenade in his hands, but it seems like now the full rotate is coming out. Flit does pick up that AK-47 for himself, but now XE, it's all on you. You've got one more. Furlan's down and out, but how are you going to be dealing with the oncoming pressure? It's a 2 versus 5. Yes, but PHR isn't quite able to finish off. Forze take it to 14-14 now, and now both teams are very, very closely matched. Both teams, if they lose this round, they've got no money whatsoever. Ago, more disadvantaged. They don't have the weaponry in this round. They don't have the utility in this round. They're going for a Hail Mary. They're going for an all-in right now. Caper. You'd think he'd be one of the more underpowered players with only a UMP, but right now he's one of the big ones on his team. And well, the big ones are being brought down by even bigger boys. XC with the AWP showing off his big green gun. And XC rotating around, giving his teammate the backup that he needs. Flit wants to be there to make sure XE can't be overwhelmed, but XE himself wants to keep on styling on Ago. So far, Ago losing out 2 of their players, have recovered the guns, but now that is no longer an option. Furlan finding himself nothing as he tries to move over towards quad, but is only intercepted by Flit in the back lines, and Flit keeps on going down to 1 point of HP. A flashbang moving forward, but a grenade at his feet will finish him off. Gives him enough time to live just for Face Crack to find a kill goal. And Face Crack moves through, finishes off Sparrow as well, 15-14, and this should be the end. This should be Ago going down and going out of this match. With 5 seconds left on the clock, not the clock rather. I meant to say, actually. You know what, forget that one. I just realized it's a very inappropriate analogy. I'm glad I didn't bring it up. XE Power, the man of the hour, has been blooming like a flower, as he's been absolutely fantastic in the past few rounds. Been finding the early pickoffs every single time. This time, though, Flit manages to step up and keep himself alive with only 4 HP. Impressive in its own right, but Face Crack and XE finding 2 more. That's even more impressive. They keep on going. Sparrow's left alone, and alone he will die. Jerry finishes things off, and that will be another 16-14 loss. Ago barely losing out, and what an absolutely tragic way for them. 16-14 down to Virtus Pro, 16-14 down right now to Forze, and that's going to be it for today. Remember, if you've missed out the games, don't worry, you can catch VODs later. It's been Expert that took away the first one, and Ago to lose out the next 2. One to Virtus Pro, and the second to none other than Forze, which is what you watched right now. That said, this has been MDL. This is Tea Time. Thank you all for tuning in. Peace out, and see you guys very soon. Probably tomorrow for the next broadcast, but I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be on that one or not.